I call this meeting to order at 9:35 in the morning. Present are Bill McGowan, Wayne Sawchuk, Paul Kears, Dan Kaufman, and Carol Rowe. And with us of council is Greg Corbo. Our next meeting will be the 12th of September. If we go for a 2-week schedule, I may be out of town. Still to be determined.
Okay.
Don't know.
All right, so the 12th at 9:30.
Yes.
Okay with me.
Yep. Well, it's okay right now, but I might be not here, so
okay.
I'm sure somebody can take over. Okay, so first is Hobart Lane.
Okay, I'm going to put Robert on for you. Just one moment. Robert?
Yep, I just unmuted. How are you?
How are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for taking the call earlier.
You're very welcome. And you can speak with the board.
Okay. So I'm the general contractor for the applicant.
25 Hobart.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
And we are proposing an addition and remodeling on the existing structure on the home. And our intention was and will be to keep the sewer ejector pump where it is located now. It's in a good location. Doesn't impact the home. Same with the water. We weren't going to impact those. We are proposing the potential new garage because there's an existing garage. So we're proposing maybe to take down the existing garage because it's close to the road and then building a new garage.
So no additional bedrooms or bathrooms.
So there is 2 bedrooms and we already filled out the application because I believe with the 2 bedrooms, it was around $18,000 fee.
Yep.
Correct?
That's correct.
Yep. And we knew that.
Okay.
And Grady Consulting is the engineer.
Carol, do you have all the materials from them?
Yes, I have the application and the application fee.
Okay.
The only thing on this one, I think, is the garage plans indicated that you were going to be tying that into the sewer as well.
I got to talk to Heidi about that. Condon, she's the architect. That was somewhat news to me. Is that an issue if it is, or
is it where's are the bedrooms going to have a bathroom upstairs above the garage, or
I don't believe so.
I think it did.
Okay. I mean, I can get further details on that, or if that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, the last plan that was submitted shows the sewer service being relocated because of the garage construction.
Yeah.
But there are basically bathroom facilities, full bathroom facilities in the garage.
Yeah.
And it doesn't appear that that's being tied in, but obviously it would need to be, and it would
Right,
need
exactly. Yep.
it would need a separate pump as well.
Okay.
And none of that is shown on the plan currently.
So we'd need a separate pump. We couldn't tie into the existing pump.
Doesn't look like it, no. Based upon location.
so there's no gravity from the new
Is
location down to the pump?
No, there's
So
a pretty long force main length from the house. And it's intercepted or relocated by the garage, which is at the very end of the line.
Okay.
Well, whatever we have to do, we do, I guess.
So we
Yes.
need some clarification because that could constitute a separate suite.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's considered an accessory dwelling, right?
No.
I'm just trying to think things through if we couldn't make a determination in the field, correct?
I mean, we need they're going to tie in the garage, then we would need to see the plans as far as that connection.
Right.
Pump location, the panel location, the piping.
I was just thinking if there was a way maybe to at least approve the house, just to move that forward and pay the fee, and then maybe make some type of notation that we can address the garage. If I acknowledge that that would be, you know, if needed, pump and all that, that we would know that that would be an extra fee. Just so we could move forward with the work on the house. Because I wouldn't even be able to do the garage anyways, because that's my access to the house. So I'm probably gonna do that garage towards the end, almost as a separate permit, maybe even too.
And, you know, I wouldn't be opposed to that if there was something in writing. That basically said, this is what you're gonna do and when you're gonna do it, and that you acknowledge the fact that, you know, there's gonna be a separate EDU for the garage.
Yep,
We can approve it contingent on separate hookup for the garage. Dan, do you think separate hookup altogether? I don't know. I didn't.
I mean, we'd probably tie into the existing service line. If they build a garage, they're gonna have to relocate the service line as it is, so that would probably all be done at the same time. If they don't build a garage, then, you know, there's no issue.
But they are
Right.
building. Yeah, they're going to build a garage.
Right. So we just need something to depict how that's being tied in.
So we approve the house and just make notations that if there's a new structure that's created, that would be a separate application.
yes,
Yeah.
that'd
Yeah.
be
It
great.
wouldn't be
Thank you.
denied, but it would just be, you know, just,
Yeah, we're just pushing it off until we know exactly what's good.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rob.
you-
Rob, who's doing the detailed plans on the sewer?
You mean Grady, or do you
Yeah.
mean like who would be the sewer contractor?
No, just the plans, because I think Dan is saying the plans don't have a level of detail, or if they do, they're missing something.
Yeah,
Who's
I can follow up with Grady today and have them add some more detail.
Yeah, specific to the garage and having. to move
Yes,
the line, so-
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where are you moving the line? That's what we're trying to figure out,
Yep, no problem.
because no matter where you move it, Dan, are you saying there has to be an additional grinder pump?
If they continue with the bathroom facilities in that upper room above the garage.
Yeah.
Then obviously they can't get that flow into the sewer without a pump.
Right. And that's what I was thinking, if we just did on the house at least and do a field determination, because I'm just concerned too. I mean, once we start digging that garage, I might not be able to do a pump, and then I'd have to go back to the owner and Heidi and say, hey, guys, you might just have to abandon the bathroom on this garage, you know, it might not be worth the cost. That would be another good reason why maybe just to do this as a separate entity. That way I can just move forward with the house, because then I can get a permit issued on the house, so I can just at least start it with the good weather.
Okay, so I want to make a motion to approve the additional bedrooms and move forward with approving the sewer permit for the primary dwelling with a contingency to where they come back to us for more detailed plans on the garage and the bathroom above the garage.
I'll second that. Why don't we do a roll call on this motion? Bill McGowan, aye.
Paul Kearsai.
Wayne Sawchuck, aye.
Okay, anything else, Robert?
No, so do I bring a check down to Carol? Is that how that works?
Yes.
Yeah, it does, yeah. I don't know, Carol, where are you located in the town hall now?
I am downstairs, right off the building department.
Yeah, I've been there.
Okay,
So should I bring that like today, tomorrow, or do you have to do stuff first and then I bring it after you contact me, or should I?
bring it on down.
All right,
You're bringing it on down, yeah. As soon
all
as
right. I'll try to get that down today. If not, Carol, get it there tomorrow before 12.
I'm not in tomorrow.
Okay.
Just so that you know.
Okay, no worries. Can I leave it with somebody?
You can leave it with the building department.
Awesome. All right, I'll make sure I do that. All right,
Thank
thanks,
you,
guys.
Robert.
Thank you, and I'll follow up with Grady.
Okay, sounds
you
great.
so much.
Thanks. Take care.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Okay, so now
You-
we have an applicant from Whitehead Road.
Okay. I'm gonna place them in now. Tara? Where'd he go?
Hi there,
Galen?
Galen. Yep.
Yep. Galen is here for 15 Whitehead.
How are you?
Very well.
Thanks.
I'm the project manager for Artrite, the general contractor. Mike Malu is also on. He is another project manager associated with Artrite. So in general, we're looking to raise and rebuild the primary residence and all associated structures on the property, which I believe is one accessory structure. And looking to rebuild with same number of bedrooms. I think it should be simple from a sewer standpoint. Reconnecting in at the box that was just capped. Carol, I sent you the photo of the cut and cap that was
Mhm.
last week, right at the chamber. And obviously the fee has been paid for the disconnect, which I
Mhm.
believe has been done by the town as well. And as soon as we get the final location for your engineer on paper, we'll be able to apply for the reconnection, which obviously won't be happening until down the line.
Dan, did you have any final thoughts on it? I know you took a look at it already.
Yeah, no, they just don't know exactly where the sewer is, so I think, from the perspective of having that for the commission, we would need to have a plan resubmission for that when they go to do the final connection.
I have talked with Josh Green from Crocker Design Group. He has already laid it out. It just needs to be submitted on paper. He's already gone out for the survey.
Okay.
So we should be getting that to you any day now, today or tomorrow.
So do you have, what, as far as number of bedrooms, what do you have, about 4 EDUs down there?
3 bedrooms
3 bedrooms, okay.
and 3 are going back in.
So Dan, was this the one that you referenced a clay pipe or wanted to have or is that a different property?
I think that's a different one.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know if we had to look at this. So when do you anticipate rehooking up? Spring?
Yeah, it won't be till spring at the very least.
Okay.
If not, maybe even summer.
Okay. Dan, is that something you would go out and re-inspect or is that something that
Yeah, when the connections are being made, you need to notify Carol, and Carol will give us a call to go out and take a look. And we'll usually set up an inspection with your contractor.
Great. Site contractors, Paragon Landscape. Sure you guys have dealt with them before, but
You should give him the our number or the sewer commission's number to call
absolutely.
when he's at that point.
Sounds good.
Do need a little notice, so don't call 2 hours before.
More than 2 hours?
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
not-
are they putting in an outdoor irrigation system?
not to my knowledge.
Okay.
Because there's no call for a well or anything like
Okay.
that. It's mostly rainwater mitigation, which has
Okay.
been approved by the town, and all that. There's not a whole lot of landscaping going in. You know,
Okay.
no real grass turfs or anything like that. A little bit, not much though. So the natural rain should take care of most of the irrigation. In fact, that's one of my RFIs for the team, is to find out if we want to do some sort of collection tank to service any irrigation needs. But
Yeah, we have a history of folks coming to us for abatement because they put irrigation system in and they use all this water and don't realize it on 1 meter. So we like to get people ahead of time to put in 2 meters, you know?
yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I think we did that on our last project on Jerusalem Road, 419. We added a separate meter there for that.
Awesome.
All right.
So I'll make a motion to approve the applicants for 15 Whitehead Road.
I second. Okay, we'll do a roll call. Bill McGowan, aye.
Paul Kearsey, aye.
Wayne Sawchuck, aye.
Well, I guess we'll see you in the spring or summer of 25.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it
Thank
all.
you.
No problem. Take care.
Take care.
We have Lambert's Lane next.
Mhm. I will put them in right now.
Hey, Greg, are you on a bus?
Pam, you want us to join in?
I'm here. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. You get it, is this the
Good.
three of you, or you have others on this, or?
Yep, the applicant, John Ormond, is here, and the engineer is joining as well.
Okay,
Alton Stone.
Pam Fahey is our Board of Health, and she is on as well.
And can
Oh.
Greg introduce himself and?
yeah, I'm gonna do that, all right, if I can,
Thank
if you
you.
don't mind. I'd like to establish a couple of rules of engagement, because I know this might be, I know it's an emotional discussion, and at least that's my perception of it. Greg is our attorney of record, Greg Corbo. Dan Copeland is our engineer, and then Paul Kears, Wayne Sawchuck are part of the board, sewer commissioners, and myself. I'd like to, the things I'd like to say.
Fahey as well.
Pardon me?
Pam Fahey as
Oh,
well.
I'm sorry, Ken Faley's here, yeah, I just see her, yeah. I'd like to keep this cordial and professional and not get into innuendo or any of that sort of thing. We'll try to get through this as quickly as we can. I've got an 11:30 hard stop. But Paul can certainly take over for me. So whoever wants to start on your side, you asked for the meeting, and so I'd say fire away.
Yeah, I'd like to, but before we begin, real quick, I just want to thank you, first of all, for the level of detail that you provided on the property. I've only been a sewer commissioner for 4 years, so I'm not as familiar with when they did the districts at the time. And just a bit of a history for Greg. This applicant had come before us a few weeks back to where he has a property that has been divided into 4 different lots to build 4 different units. And when we looked at it, based on the information that we had at the time, it appeared that 2 lots were outside the district, even though they abut the district. They're still outside the district, and 2 lots were in. So the conclusion of that meeting, we stated that 2 could be approved for sewer. The other 2 we felt would have to go to town meeting, which is December 2nd, where we could put it on the an article on the warrant to have those 2 properties moved into the sewer district for the purpose of allowing them to hook up to sewer. But we haven't determined if indeed this property would already be fully in the district. That's something that we have to figure out based on this information that has been supplied to us, because I think I'm not clear if the entire property is in the sewer district, it seems to me that, 26 Lambert, the entire property would have been in the district, not just half of it. So I'm not sure where the town is on this. And I know we asked Pam to join us, because, 2 would have to be septic, and we're not sure if, assuming that it's, not in the district, they would have to go on septic, and is septic, able to be put in on those properties? We don't know. If the answer is no, it can't be, then we still would have to have town meeting approve adding them into the district, as we had done with the Cook Estates, for instance, had to be added in. So I know that this is one property with one owner, and now it's been divided into 4 properties. So technically it is common ownership of 4 contiguous properties. So I don't know if that helps you in your process of thinking through this. So Mr. Goldman, if you want to go ahead and present your.
Thank you. Thank you for that summary of the underlying facts, and I think that's helpful. My name is Howard Goldman, and thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'm with the law firm of Goldman and Pease, and I handle quite a bit of real estate issues at various administrative levels. In fact, I serve on my zoning board here in Needham, Massachusetts. So let me just say that the underlying policy under Title V and under Cohasset's regulations really push toward hookup to sewer. And the issue becomes whether it's feasible. So in this instance, as you pointed out, sir, that this property is under common ownership by John Ormond, who certainly right here in front of us, who apparently was at your meeting a few weeks ago. John obtained an A&R subdivision approval over the past year or so, and did appear fairly recently in front of the planning board, who approved a common roadway access point. I think you had a series of questions, and rightfully so. But we've provided through this submittal this morning a comprehensive title report showing how this parcel 26 Lampert has been together, I think since 1906-ish. So it's been together as a parcel. John has owned it, and then, as I mentioned, he recently subdivided with all approvals. So that we've also provided. So again, the primary focus here is Title V really pushes toward a hookup. It's the most clean, efficient way to go. In this instance, I guess there was some communication before I was involved with the Cohasset Commission regarding seeking access from Hingham, which is very close by to their sewer access. And Mr. Ormond was in front of that commission and obtained written approval to hook up to the Hingham sewer for all 4 lots. And we've attached that, I believe, as the first exhibit to this paperwork. So what we have here, in fact, if I can quickly put, so what we have here is that the neighboring town of Hingham has expressly permitted Ormond to hook up. And that is exhibit 1 to our A to our submittal. And so so Ormond is not seeking to burden the sewer for Cohasset. That as I understand it, all the sewer will flow directly through, but there needs to be some level of cooperation. In fact, the town of Hingham, and that exhibit A at the bottom says, please note that Cohasset sewer has to assume the billing for the property, and the consumption needs to be added to their reports. But they certainly are looking for ongoing cooperation with the town of Cohasset to work together. So it seems like and under the broad regulations that this town has about connecting to the sewer, that's the most efficient, cleanest way. That this should be a clear sense of the applicant is not burdening the Cohasset system in any way, and that we're looking for approval through this process for hookup to the town of Hingham. I think that in a nutshell covers it. I can certainly answer questions and go through our pleadings in more detail, but I think at the end of the day, I think the case law that we've looked at and put forth, and this is important too, I guess I would mention that that there are various cases we put on page 4, the Terrell versus Stockwell case and the Canton Highland versus the Several case, those have to do with grandfathering. It appears clear to us on the case law that the 26 Lamprey is grandfathered over its common ownership, as you pointed out, sir, as well as the historic history of the land as being one parcel. I understand that of the 4 parcels, 2 are substantially in the proper sewer district, and the other 2 do touch it. One is 41%, we believe, and the other is 22%. So we believe, just in conclusion, that the grandfathering of this lot, common ownership, case law, the regulations under Title V, the regulations under Cohasset, all point for a sewer hookup, and we don't believe there's much of a burden of feasibility issue with Cohasset. So we're here today to present all this, to answer questions. I'm just a lawyer. I'm sure the engineers, Mr. Rahman, have more in-depth detail regarding the lot itself, and certainly would answer any appropriate questions. So thank you.
Yeah, I just want to follow up with you on a couple of things. One is just a point of clarification. Hingham has a sewer line that runs down 228 for the sole purpose of pumping sewer from Hingham to Hull. Cohasset has an agreement with the town of Hull as well, where we pump North Cohasset sewer to Hull. We have a municipal agreement with Hingham to utilize the line that is on 228. So that's the only relationship Cohasset and Hingham have to sewer. So that's the relationship we have with the 3 towns. Now, you pump sewer to Hull through that line, and Hull charges the sewer commission for those services, and then turn around and charge the sewer services to the residents of Cohasset that are hooked up to that line. So that kind of addresses the Hingham piece. So there's nothing that we need to do with Hingham to interact with them at all when it comes to this property. The second piece, you mentioned Title V a couple of times. So Title V really encourages folks to hook up to sewer. You are correct. But that's if you're in the sewer district. If sewer exists, they prefer you to be hooked to sewer rather than keep maintaining a septic system. So if you're in the sewer district, we encourage people to be hooked up to sewer. So that is how that works. I guess we're not opposed to the 4 contiguous properties being hooked up to sewer. The issue that we have is 2 properties appear to be outside of the sewer district. So we brought Mr. Corbo in to help us understand what our options are to see if if this property is or is not able to be grandfathered in, which would lead us in one path. If it cannot be, then maybe the other path is we go to town meeting and have those 2 properties added in. And I don't know if there's a third option. So Greg, if you have any.
Yeah, well said.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me today. So yeah, I took a look at a lot of the background documents here, and I have I guess a few unanswered questions. But to start with, I was wondering if I could share my screen and pull up one of the plans.
Carol?
Is that okay with you, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, no, it's fine with me. Carol?
Okay.
Yes, I just gave him the option.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Okay, so, what I have here, and Mr. Conflin provided this to me, is what I understand is the boundaries of the district in the relevant area, and that would be what's in green. And what you could see here is that the yellow was also included in the district, but this white area was not. And is it correct that this white area is now all part of this one, well, what is now 4 parcels?
Yes,
So,
It always was since 1907.
okay, so it always was since 1907, but when was the sewer district created?
1960, I believe.
Okay.
2013, I believe, was the acts of 2013. The district was formed.
And so, Dan, this boundary would have been formed after the act went into effect?
I think it was incorporated as part of the act.
Mhm.
So it was defined probably just prior to the act being passed by legislature.
Okay. So, the question, and I don't know that there's anyone here that can answer this, but, it looks like the way that this line was drawn, the white piece was intentionally left out. And if that's the case, it's hard to see how we could now consider that to be within the sewer district. Certainly when this line was drawn, whoever drew the line could have recognized that this was one parcel and included it within the district. But, for reasons, and maybe there are minutes somewhere and we could look at that, but as far as I can tell, we're not going to be able to answer that question. So, it looks to me that this portion of the property is not within the district. And, if you look at the language of the act, I don't know if I'm able to, I can, okay. Right, it specifically says, I don't know if you can see the whole thing or if you see some of you, hold on. Okay.
Can I just ask, please, I apologize, the site to this act, this is the Towns Act in 2013?
Correct.
So how, is there a Mass General Laws site, or how do I get my copy of this?
Oh, sure. So it's not a Mass General Law, it's a session law, but you can get it on the General Laws website. It's chapter 147 of the Acts of 2013.
Thank you.
And what the relevant portion of this says is that, let me see where it says. Okay. Sorry, I lost my place here. Okay, so it says, notwithstanding any general or special law to the contrary, owners of land not within sewer districts defined and established pursuant to Section 1 shall not be permitted to connect to the town sewer system except as set forth in this act. Territory covered by the districts may be amended from time to time by the Board of Sewer Commissioners after public hearing, upon approval of DEP, and upon enactment by town meeting of a bylaw, provided, however, that if the board votes not to amend, the amendment may nevertheless be enacted in the form of a bylaw by 2/3 majority vote. And there was another provision, is it up here? Okay, and so what this section 1 says is that no other sewers shall be constructed in any public ways in the town that are not within the limits of designated sewer district and which are not under control of the Board of Sewer Commissioners, and no other sewers that are not within the limits of the designated sewer districts shall become part of or connected to any sewers, pumping stations, or other works within the limits of the designated districts. So when I look at that language and I look at the map that seems to have intentionally left part of this parcel out.
Well, I guess that's the key point. Was it intentional? Was it a mistake? And was it legal? Because you can't draw up sewer districts on half lots. That's why if you put half of it in, you should have put the whole lot in. And there's case law to support that, but I'll just leave it at that and keep going.
Okay, well, I'm not aware of any case law that talks about how,
Oh, we outline that in the letter. If you read, we can go, Howard will go over the letter.
Sure. Okay, so John, thank you. Greg, why don't you continue? So we'll let you complete your thoughts. You know, obviously you bring us to the language which talks about outside the district, you know, but I'll let you finish before, obviously, I didn't mean to interrupt, so please continue.
sure. So, I mean, it appears to me that at least a portion of this property is not within the district, and the act prohibits extension of lines to any area that is not within the district unless it is approved by town meeting. And so, and unless there is other evidence to suggest that this property is in fact included, I would have to be of the opinion that town meeting approval is required. And, you know, I understand that there is some case law cited in the letter that relates to zoning and easements, but, you know, this is a special act of the legislature that relates to sewer. Those cases are not applicable, in my opinion. And, you know, the purpose of the act was to restrict sewer service to only certain areas. And while I have no opinion on whether or not the 4 connections should ultimately be allowed, you know, I can't agree that there is no burden on the town of Cohasset, because although the sewer goes through Hingham and eventually into Hull, there are intermunicipal agreements that limit the amount of flow that Cohasset is allowed to contribute. And so, you know, if you were to extend sewer into areas that are not currently within districts, then that takes away sewer capacity for others that are within the district. And so, you know, but ultimately that's for you and for town meeting to decide, you know, whether or not these properties should be included by an expansion of the district.
Okay, so I appreciate what you're saying. I think that there are areas that we disagree, but listen, obviously the agreement that what you presented in terms of the judicial district by the Act of 13, there's clearly a portion of this lot, that portion of the lot that's outside of that. But I think that we have to take into account the history of the property. It's been together. What Ormond has done, if he hadn't subdivided it, this would have easy access. This was a A&R approved. That there's been lots of public hearings on this issue with the planning board in this town, and that there's been applications filed and approved in coordination with the town's conservation commission. So everything that's being done here is being sought through public hearings and approval. So there's no surprise here. So what we're saying is Title V policy purpose is to encourage connection. Feasibility would be the offset, but we have here, as I understand, again, I'm not as intricately involved as this honorable commission and all the folks who stand here as volunteers, but it seems to me that that Hingham is taking the sewage, and that charges will be assessed appropriately and passed through the customers. No argument there. So it's been approved. It's not a hypothetical that the approval is attached as an exhibit to this filing. So what we have in front of us is how might, in a lot like this that's been together since 1906, that's a long time, over 100 years. So and elements of these 2 lots are in, as I'm told by the engineer. One was, you know, within fairly significant amounts, but it's less than 50%. So you've got common ownership, approvals from various town commissions over the past year, written approval after hearing from the Hingham department, a request from Hingham really simply saying we need to cooperate with and get, you know, with Cohasset's sewer commission for billing purposes and so on. So it seems to me that, and under the town's various regulations, I mean, the town and all towns really discourage septic systems. They're dirty, they take up space. It's inefficient use of resources. It seems to me that this is a case respectfully that would be within the discretion of this commission to vote, certainly to discuss, but to vote for approval based upon the historic history of the lot, the grandfathering. And Council, you had mentioned the cases I cite about easements, that in two cases that are really well heeled, form backbone for the concept of subdivision and access rights to continue. I don't know why a town or a special act would be exempt from standard case law in Massachusetts that's been cited in numerous briefs throughout the Commonwealth for many, many years. I think the purpose of that is to highlight that a subdivision does not remove rights, and that the bulk of this lot at 26 Lamprey is well within the sewer district. So we don't, I'm not seeing the difficulty. I know you mentioned about access to pipes and so on and so forth, but it seems to me that the town would have the burden to demonstrate that feasibility. It seems to me this is a best case scenario where we've got lots connected to an adjoining sewer, public sewer, and the town is not having a burden. The sewer is not being run through the system. You mentioned ultimately through Hull, and you know that's part of the process. You know, I've been involved with other boards in different towns where the towns were out of capacity, and feasibility was a huge issue that would have mandated the hookup. But it just seems to me that this is well within the discretion of the board to exercise discretion to keep in mind the Title V push to connect to sewer, and that this case to me shouts out for the exercise of that discretion. Now, I would say that this sewer district was formed in 13, but this lot had existed well before that by a long shot, and it was clearly able to be hooked up then and now. It seems like that, and who knows exactly why the intent of this. It seems. Well, I can't comment. I don't want to comment about how these lines were drawn. I don't have knowledge to say that, but it seems respectfully that the case law that we've established, the policy of Title V, the grandfathering, the cases we cite, that this case, and then again, that the town of Hingham bearing the heavy burden here, and that they're just asking that the town of Hingham assist with the billing process. And perhaps the engineers or Mr. Oman can speak about the proximity of his lot to the Hingham lot to understand the type of burden that otherwise might be imposed on the Cohasset system. So John or engineers, can you just advise how close we are to Hingham?
Yeah, the lot, even the lot abuts the Hingham sewer line, and the amount of flow that goes in there is roughly 330 gallons per house, which is a low flow volume. But two of the existing houses are within the sewer zone, but one of the third ones that's outside abuts the sewer zone now. So based on just laws, 3 of those are in, and based on other laws, all of them are in. So I don't know why there's a discussion here. Greg, I'd like to.
John, I just want to be clear. So you're saying that the Hingham system is how close to these lots?
It abuts the property. It abuts 26 Lambridge Lane. It's within like 10 feet, 15 feet.
Oh, okay. And so
Yeah.
I think that bears on the issue
Yeah.
of feasibility. You know, this commission is within its discretion. The council mentioned potential burden on the mechanicals and so on. And what I'm hearing from Mr. Oman is that this is adjacent to, so that the amount, how might this work? What level of hookup would there be to the Cohasset? Would it be a pipe from your houses, John, to the Hingham system?
That's normally how it's done. So I don't want to get off subject here, but whether there's a burden or not a burden has nothing to do with any of the decision-making process that we're doing here. Just to be clear, there's a pipe that runs down the center, down 228. And our sewer goes into that pipe and we pump it down to home. So Hingham is not pumping our sewer. Hingham is pumping the residents of Hingham sewer down the pipe. and we come in halfway down that pipe and we jump in with all our sewer from our residents and everything goes to home. So there's no lack of burden or on the town of Cohasset or additional burden on the town of Hingham. Like I said, this is a sewer system that we all equally have a municipal agreement in, that we work together with, and fees are assessed. And when it comes time for repair and maintenance of the system, there's an assessment of contribution to getting those repaired by the three towns. So we don't need to talk about the burden anymore because there isn't one as far as we're concerned. We are solely looking at sewering the property. We're not against sewering the property. It doesn't matter if you're 10 feet from the line or 10,000 feet from the line. We see that that two of them are not in the district. So what we need to do is we need to determine through the assessor's office or through the building inspector's office or the zoning board to find out why that particular property was divided the way it was, and the district was carved the way it was in 2013. It shouldn't take much effort to be able to do that. If your statement earlier that it's been one large lot, whatever it is, 2 acres of land, it's always been 26 Lambert since 1907, then the evidence will prove that, and we'll be able to then move forward with the path of getting it into the district for approval. So we're not opposed to hooking up to sewer, but we can't do that if you're outside the district. So that's what we have to do, is determine how this property was not perhaps equally treated when the district was zoned. So when we had that the map up of where your property was, I'm looking to the left of you and I'm saying, why weren't those two little properties part of the zone as well? So there's a decision-making process that none of us were part of, that we could simply go to zoning and find out what those issues are. Pam, I don't know if you have any insight into this property at all.
No, I don't. I'm not sure the history of it and why half of it would not be in and half is out. I don't know. Okay.
Thank you. I know we had asked Pam to be here in the event that we needed to talk septic, and we work very well with the Board of Health. There have been people that their septic systems have failed, and we had to go to town meeting and approve them to be put onto sewer. So we're very proactive in moving forward with the Title V, as you suggested. Just keep in mind, we're not opposed to hooking up the 4 properties to sewer. What we can't do is just hook it up to sewer because you're close to it. We just have to make sure it's in the district.
Yeah, so they're technically in the district, right? Because the lots that you say are out of the district, 20 and 40% of them are in the district. So I don't know how we can outline that to you. And as long as any part of a lot touches the old district or is part of it, it's in the district. And we outline that. We already provided plans from 1621. We traced this property back to 1621. And we've provided information that it's been one single lot touching Hull Street since 1907. So I don't know how much clearer it can be.
I think one of your exhibits, it was a 2007 plan, shows it for lot 20 to 22, shows the area that's in the district as a separate lot.
Yeah, it's always been one house in that actual lot in the middle there. It's kind of on both lots. The house, even the existing house, is on both lots.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
So
one of your exhibits actually shows it as a separate lot, 20 to 22, Lambert.
Sir, would you mind pointing us to that? I don't have that recollection.
Yeah, that's the neighbor's address. They subdivided that out, and the original owners of the lot, the Polito, subdivided a piece out back in, I think, 1960, and put a piece over to lot 20 Lambert's Lane. So it's under different ownership, but That original lot stayed the same, but they subdivided that out before the sewer district in 2013. So, I mean, long story short, there's 4 laws here. If you break it into 4 categories, this was originally in the sewer zone. It's still in the sewer zone. It touches the sewer zone. Title V says you should connect if it's feasible. And the final thing is that the property that you're saying outside the sewer zone still abuts the sewer zone. So there's like 4 categories here that the law is telling you. If you read the law, it basically says this is in the sewer zone. So I don't know how we could, I'm losing time and money here going back and forth and we're spending. I'll have to, if this takes a long time to get approved, who pays for that?
Well, John, I want to jump in. So
Yeah.
that the commission is working in good faith. I just think we want to stay on message here. That the clear that they're not opposing it and that they would work. I thought somebody used the word proactively to support. The concerned council is raising about the district, and now he's going to, or someone will go through to speak to the different committees on zoning, perhaps assessing to see what the reason why that there was a portion of the 26 Lambert that was omitted. I think the point that John is making is that we feel that this has been grandfathered. This has been common ownership, as I said before. So, John, I think I would leave it with that. I think we should hear back from the board that we're talking about seeking the board's approval through their discretion. I'm hearing that they're engaging with us in a very positive way. Mr. Kearse as well and town council. So, I think we're working through it. We made the points. I think as a developer, we'll keep our thoughts separate as to time and so on. Obviously, it is burdensome to delay this, but that there is an issue in front of us that town council and everyone is being deliberate with. So I think we should let this process continue and be interactive. Perhaps we'll continue this for a couple of weeks if that's the time frame that we need. We'll be back before any decisions are made. We'll have a chance to understand. Perhaps, Paul, if you'd be kind of town council, if you're seeing materials that are relevant, to get those to us in advance, so we have a chance to think about it and to react to it in a thoughtful way and to be useful of your time at the next meeting.
Well, I think I appreciate that. All of the evidence that you have given us, we will take to the respective departments in the town to see where, if there was a misstep in the zoning aspect of the sewer, missing this particular lot that you stated should be grandfathered in or was grandfathered in, then we could get this thing rectified fairly quick. So I think that what we'll have to do is assign somebody to chase this down over the next couple of weeks. So the commission will have to determine who that person is. So we're going to take everything that you had given us and approach the other departments who are responsible for zoning those lots, and then how the overlay was for the sewer on top of that, why it was, carved out the way it was, so we can get an answer for you as quickly as possible.
And what I'd like to do, excuse me, Attorney, I'd like to have Greg sort of put a recap in your opinion, Greg, as to what you've heard over the last, say, 15 minutes.
Sure. So, I mean, again, I have no interest here in whether or not these properties are ultimately connected. So I can only look at what is the authority of the sewer commission to allow this connection. And based on the information that is in front of me now, the portion of the property that I highlighted earlier in white is not within the sewer district. And in my opinion, the special act, the language of the special act is very clear that we're not looking at property lines and whether a property as a whole is within the district. The act specifically says that no sewers that are not within the limits of a designated district shall become part of or connected to any sewers. So the way that I read that, it's my opinion that if you have to run a sewer line outside of the district, it is not allowed unless the district is expanded by town meeting. Now, maybe in your research, you're going to find that the map I'm looking at is incorrect and that this line does encompass the whole property, in which case then I agree, it is within your discretion to allow this. As to some of the other points that were made, it's illogical, frankly, to say that just because a property or a portion of a property abuts a district, then it's in the district, because then that would mean that all the properties that abut the district are in the district, and then all the properties that abut those properties are in the district, and all of a sudden the whole
Wait a
town
second.
is
Wait,
the
that's not
district.
true.
Well,
No, I'm
let
sorry.
Greg finish,
Yeah,
please.
We're in the
I have the
district.
floor.
The
Let Greg
percentage of the
finish.
properties in the district, that's a misstatement of fact. We didn't say that. We said they're in the district. 22% of one and 40 of the other is in the old district. So I just want to make the facts clear because
Well, council, it might be helpful. You were kind enough to share the screen with us, but would you mind sending us or have somebody send me that particular highlight? I have plans, I'm not quite sure. I just want to make sure that we're syncing in the same plan and so on, but yeah, anyhow, so John, let the good council finish, please. Okay. But if I could get a copy, council, of what you had put up, that would be helpful.
Yeah, so, yeah, thank you. That's actually on page 13 of your letter.
Is it one of the exhibits?
Yes.
Is it exhibit? Probably.
It's part of Exhibit C.
Okay, so I have C in front of me. I have different colors. Would you mind just bringing that back up? So now that I have it in front of me.
Yeah, sure. So hold on.
Thank you.
Okay, can you see this now?
Yes.
Okay, so this is from page 13 of your letter, Exhibit C.
Yes, I have that. Thank you.
Right, and so the dark black line is the outline of the sewer district in this area. And so it left out this yellow portion, it left out these 3 lots, and it left out everything over here.
And John, just to be clear on this map, so that which is our subject parcel?
Yeah, the parcel basically that was drawn up like this was always 26 Lambert's Lane, and it was made up of 2 pieces of lots that were merged together way back in like 1930 or something. So for some reason this
is it 3-23. Which are the ones that are part of
that's not a lot. That's an old piece of a lot that was from, I don't know, 1940s or something. That
can you tell us where your 26 Lambert is relative to the
well, yeah, let me bring up do you want me to bring up a plan?
I think it'd be helpful because I think this is important to all of us that we're trying to locate the 26 Lambert in the sewer district plan.
Okay, if you can see my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
No. But, so does Carol have to help allow you to share?
The host disabled screen sharing.
So Carol, can you allow Mr. Ormond to share his screen, please?
I just did.
Thank you.
So you can see here, if we highlight this area here, the sewer district that was cut out is down here in the bottom. This lot 3 still goes up into it all the way up. And the back part of this lot here is still in the sewer district. So these are all still in the sewer district. They're not abutting the sewer district. They're within the sewer district. If you look at
that would be helpful. Can you try to convert this plan, which is a detailed survey plan done fairly recently in connection with your approval subdivision, that relative to the one that was put up in our exhibit?
Yeah, I can. Give me 30 seconds
so
here.
we all can see. To overlay it would be great, and perhaps we can't do it now. We can do it later.
But in the meantime, I can show you the percentages here. So if we go up here in your letter, basically, these are the percentages of the new A&R lots that exist inside of the old sewer district that was approved. Did you read this section, Greg?
And of course,
Yeah, so we shouldn't be talking about abutting here. These are actually in the sewer
You're
district.
highlighting.
Yeah,
these
I'm gonna
lots-
highlight it, okay.
Yeah, the point that we're making through the filing is that the other lots have a fairly significant portion in the sewer district. I think it'd be helpful, John, if we can overlay that our exhibit 3 that council brought up with your more detailed subdivision plan.
Yeah,
If
okay.
we can't do it here, we'll do it subsequently in the next hearing.
Well, I can give you a quick view right now. Okay, so these are the lots here. And
Who put this map together?
this is the sewer plan that we've submitted.
No, but that's not the question now. Who actually did it? What engineering firm, or did the sewer department do this?
It was an engineering firm up in Andover, Massachusetts. They were subcontracted out to do it, and so. So
Yeah,
here,
Pretty consistent with the 1961 approval of the planning board for the property for William Polito, which is kind of the area of discussion where that looks like it was carved out to be in the sewer district, but the other piece was not, and that's.
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Alton Stone here. That survey was done by Rod Frandino, a professional land surveyor in Massachusetts, and his company Circumspect Land Survey. He did the boundary survey of the lot, and he did all the topography and planimetric features as well that I, as the engineer, Alton Stone, used for the design of the system. And we've used all the way along for all the other boards and commissions that we've dealt with.
Great, thank you.
so you can see here, this portion of lot 4 is in the sewer district. This is the old piece that was cut out. And this portion here of lot 3 actually abuts the road here. So, I mean, there's other laws that say if you abut the road where the sewer line is on, you're in. And so
John,
either way,
yeah, I think we would leave the arguments for later, John. I think we're just trying to locate the.
yeah, this is it right here. So this is
Onto the
this is
sewer
the rough,
line.
you know, within 20 or 30% right here. This is what they cut out. I don't think they did it intentionally. I think it was some kind of mistake. They thought that they were 2 lots, but they're really 1. The existing house sits right on the property line, right in between these 2. So either way, it's been 1 lot. The percentage of these lots are still in the old sewer zone, so they're technically in the sewer district because a portion of them are in, and all of your easements carry over, right? So that case law is very substantial that you provided, Howard. And I don't know why this is going this far, but I mean, the concept of feasibility is another one. If you can connect to the sewer and it's feasible, you should be allowed to connect to the sewer, regardless of the district. But we can follow the district, but you have to follow some rules. There has to be some consistency.
Well, John,
But either way,
I think what town council is saying, he
Yeah.
was looking at the language of the acts of 213.
Okay,
And we're struggling with the words there. What we have here is a legitimate plan prepared by an engineer. It's been used. I think that I think we're getting to a point where we probably won't want to thank the board for their participation. That work needs to be done for them to reach out to the assessing people to see this better. I think we want to go back and to superimpose this survey plan onto the in a very specific way to get a better sense. I think that this would leave the board with the concept that what John is suggesting and stating is that there are portions of all the lots, including ones that seem to have been omitted, 41%, 22% in the sewer district. So I think at this point, this might be a natural breaking point to allow us to reconvene. And I think that we've covered the points, and I appreciate board and council engaging with us as well.
so what are next steps then?
So I think, John, I think that we're looking to continue this matter if we may. I'm not sure what is it, every 2 weeks, would that be enough time?
So what we need to do, from a sewer commission perspective is, we need to confirm with the town of Cohasset that either A, this is one giant lot, and, it should be grandfathered into the sewer district, or the sewer district has been carved out since 2013, and we have to go to town meeting to get it, to get that's additional part of the lot added into it. So we're just trying to confirm if it's one giant lot, then there was no reason to carve out Polito as part of the sewer district. They should have carved the whole lot. That's what we're trying to determine, because that's what you're stating, is that it.
Well, we already did that legwork.
John, I think that.
Yeah, I think just for our, I think we're gonna do the legwork as well, so.
Let him continue his thought, and then we need to regroup. I think we need.
Mr. Chair, can I?
Yeah, Greg.
Just to Mr. Kears's point, the inquiry that we're really looking for here is that property, or is the line where we think it is? Whether or not if the line is where we think it is, then that's the line. And whether it was drawn intentionally that way or mistakenly that way, that was the way that it was drawn. And the only way that it can be redrawn is to go to town meeting. So in my opinion, what needs to be confirmed is the line in the correct location or not? And, if we can't get a better answer to that than what we have now, then you'll have to decide, how you want to proceed and how you want to interpret the evidence that is in front of you. Certainly, I would recommend that you have, Mr. Coughlin give us a better, drawn line, so we know exactly where that line is before we make any decisions. And again, my reading of the special act is that as long as any portion of piping has to go outside the district, then that requires an expansion of the district.
That's really not relevant here, though, but what's relevant is this in the sewers district or not?
John, I think at this point that we have everyone has expressed themselves. I think we want to regroup, allow the town to do their homework. I don't think by coming back at it, we're going to get further headway.
Yeah, but I think what we should do, I mean, we'll have to file something in Superior Court in the meantime, because we can't wait. So it's going to.
I don't think that makes sense. I don't think that makes sense.
Yeah, because this is so cut and dry, and it's like getting a lawyer and saying you're abutting when the actual lots are in the sewer district, and having a town officials agree with that it's an abutting when they're actually in.
Well, I think that what's being highlighted here is there are some questions of fact that they're asking for clarification on where the sewer district is drawn. We need to go back and superimpose and work with the engineers to do that as well, to get a better understanding. I think the town council seems to have a pretty broad reading of that. That the board is certainly not against hooking up the lot, but they seem to be suggesting a authority issue, that they may not have the authority. And I think that we're suggesting that they do have the authority because of the grandfathering of some of the cases. But I think this is a natural point, John, to stop the hearing, to reconvene, to regroup, and to allow us to go back and to come back at this.
May I make a comment? Alton Stone here.
Yes.
I'm the engineer. It seems to me what's getting a little bit lost here is we're arguing, is it in the district or not in the district? The main point to me is that you're far better off by connecting it to the sewer and not having septic systems out here. Connect it to the sewer. That's the better, to the Hingham sewer. That's the better solution all the way around.
So we're not, so we agree connecting to sewer is better than having a septic system. And that always applies in the town of Cohasset, as long as you're in the sewer district. So we are in agreement there. What I will do is we have a deadline to file an article in the warrant to be on for town meeting December 2nd. What I could do is I'm willing to put a placeholder in for this property so that it could go on the town meeting warrant for I think it's December 2nd. Unless you're opposed to me doing that.
No, that's a great suggestion. We appreciate that. That's a fallback position, John, so that we keep this project moving.
Okay.
That makes good sense.
But in the meantime, could we approve 2 of the lots that you feel are in the zone? Because can we do that today? Because we would like to start building some houses here.
Yeah, we would have to do that on the next meeting.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
But we'd also need to get everything that you need as a separate, submission, so we know exactly what we're doing.
Well, it's the same plans. We're
Just do it.
Yeah.
Not what I asked.
You just have to list the addresses separately for us, so we know which dwellings are being approved, what the addresses are.
Okay.
So, because we have to record each property now that they're new, it's no longer 26 Lambert, right? So it's going to be whatever the house numbers are on those lots. We would approve those each separately.
So John, what are the addresses? Is it, can you continue with Lampert?
It's 26 and 28 Lambert's Lane. They are saying are within the sewer district, and then 30 and 32 are outside.
So 28 and 30 and what are the two, 32 and 34?
No, 30 and 32 they're saying are outside of the sewer district. And 26 and 28 are in the sewer district.
I'm sorry, John, repeat, but the last thing, which ones are in clearly?
26 and 28.
Got it.
So Carol, you can put 26 and 28 Lambert Lane on the next agenda.
Will do.
And, so for us, it might make sense for us to put a placeholder in Superior Court as well, because if
John,
the outcome of town meeting.
that makes no sense. That makes no sense. All right. So listen, I appreciate it. Is there a continued date in particular?
I'm sorry, what?
So that the date that this will be continued is what, please?
It would be the
12th of September.
Yes.
Okay. Is that thank you for the Zoom. Is that a morning meeting as well?
Yes, 9:30.
I may have a little conflict that time, but in any event, 9:30. I may have a conflict or not. Okay, and all the names are at 9:30.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to end discussion on 26 Lambert's Lane.
If I could just add one thing, in order to consider it, currently there may be some sewer piping for servicing those 2 lots, 26 and 28, that actually traverses outside the existing district. If they could take that plan and make sure that, that old lot delineation is shown there so that the sewer is shown within the district, then I think you could more easily proceed with the approval of those 2 lots. I don't know if you can add that to the plan.
So, Mr. Stone, is that clear? And what they're seeking on this?
So you want the pipes to run in the sewer district? They can't run outside?
Correct.
That's our line. That's the line we're putting in.
Yeah, and I think it's just a little bit off, but if you could just verify that. And
Okay.
maybe show that other intermediate lot line or whatever, just to depict that it's going to be within the district.
All right, we'll have the surveyor, it's Rod Frandino, put the district boundaries probably on his plan, would help everybody out, I think.
I think that would be
And
good.
then clarify where our piping is gonna be going.
Correct.
That's pretty straightforward stuff, I think.
Yep.
Although I can't speak for the surveyor, but with my information or knowledge. It just for the record, there are 2 totally different registrations in Massachusetts. Registered professional land surveyor and registered professional engineer. I'm an engineer, not a land surveyor. He's a land surveyor, not an engineer. There's things he can do that I can't do, which is the survey plans. Put a stamp on them that they're correct, that all the lines are laid out correctly.
Okay, is there anything else we need to discuss?
I have a
Ma'am?
question actually. So before you give approval next week, I just have a question. You were gonna do solid waste removal from the site? Is that still gonna be done before you start building houses?
Well, the the two lots that are outside of the district are in that area where the solid waste is. So we're gonna start with the lots that are outside of the riverfront area, lots 1 and 2. So once we get the sewer approved, then we'll do that, because those lots probably won't be started probably till 2025. Or like much later, like maybe a year or 2 years from now. So build 2 houses on lots 1 and 2, and then we'll come back and build lots 3 and 4. So that cleanup might not start until next year. If we can get the sewer approved earlier, then we can do it, right? Because one of the stipulations in the permit that we received from the Conservation Commission was that you had to have all other permits first before any work commences. So we won't have any sewer plan until we won't have any sewer approval. So we can't start any cleanup there until after this is approved. For lots
So
3
the
and 4.
Yeah, those other two properties, is it 30 and 32 Lambert Lane?
Correct, yes.
Okay, yep.
So is there any kind of drawing that you could include with this, that you can show the limits of solid waste contamination? Have the limits been determined so that they know once they start putting in the lines that they're going to be outside of solid waste? You know, it's kind of a health and safety issue too, right?
Yes, we can definitely do that. Right, we're far away from it. I'd say we're 50 to 100 feet away. At the closest. So, well, we'll do that. Yes.
Okay. Great.
Anything
right.
else?
Thank you all. We'll see you on September 12th. Thank you all for your active participation.
Thank you.
Resuming. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a great day.
Thank you.
Well,
So, quite a bit to digest there. I'll do the placeholder for 30 and 32 Lambert's Lane. Just to get that submitted to Tracy so she can just hold it.
And Dan, is
Can you hear
drawing
me?
that line something that you can do?
I have to check to see if I have all the dimensional information for that property, the way it was originally laid out. I mean, I did ask him to put it on his plan and resubmit that, so that might be a better mechanism. But
You know, I'd like to have our own plan if that's possible.
yep, that's fine.
Yeah.
I can try, and if not,
I'd like
I'll,
to have you track your hours as Lambert's Lane, please.
okay. One other thing though is because part of these lots all abut Lambert's Lane. Paul, I don't know if you want to just limit yourself to 30 and 32.
She'll put the 28 and 26 on there as well.
Yeah,
Okay. I'll add them all. Okay.
Why would we do that? Wouldn't we be giving them sort of tacit approval of those whole lots before we actually ever done anything?
you may, but it just, in order to define it based upon lot dimensions. You know, obviously.
I would say do it, but put some sort of a note in there saying these are just defined for information purposes only, and the board does not recognize them as real lots. I mean,
Yeah.
because he's gonna take whatever we get, whatever, I don't wanna do this on right now, but I mean, he's not gonna.
Yeah, I mean, all it is a placeholder at this point in time, so.
Okay. I'll put in 26 Lambert because that's how we know it as right now. And
You can see my point. I mean, this guy's
Yeah.
searching for straws and I don't wanna give him one.
so what I'll do is I'll put a placeholder in to review the entirety of 26 Lambert's Lane. As the property has been divided into 4 lots, we need consideration of adopting any of those additional lots into the sewer district.
Right.
Some language to that effect.
And I'll be sending a recap message to everybody in a bit, just some thoughts.
Yeah, we just need to understand who this is, the planning board that makes these lots.
Paul, why don't we talk about that later? Just so.
Okay. Yeah, I just need to know who we need to talk to about it.
That's why I kind of hung on. There's a new young woman that just started who's the new zoning person.
Yeah.
Julia Gillis. She might be a good person if you need someone to look through old notes.
Yeah.
Back to 2013.
Okay. Yeah,
Right.
it's just kind of weird how they carved out just the Polito property and put that one in the sewer district. It looks like somebody kind of went out of their way to carve that in there.
Yeah.
Well, it was
could be.
shown as a separate lot on the assessors.
But it's probably in there because it touches 228, right? Hull Street. So that it has frontage on 228. It looks like the district was made for anyone who had frontage on Hull Street.
Correct,
And that property is the only one that has frontage on Hull Street.
correct.
The abutters do not, so that it makes sense. That's why it was carved out, and it looks funny. It probably has everything to do with frontage on Hull Street.
So, I will again be back to everybody, but I would like to make a motion to adjourn this, now.
Okay,
Because
I
we are
second that.
breaking the lines. All right, I'll do a roll call. Bill McGowan, aye.
Paul Kearsey, aye.
Wayne Sawchuck, aye.
Thanks, Greg, for all your help.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
All right,
Thank
take
you.
care.
Take care. Yeah.
I know.